So obviously, Jack, firstly you made the announcement last week of your testimonial for next season. Could you just give us your thoughts on that first?
Yeah, obviously buzzing to, I've been granted a testimonial from the RFL. I've been granted the testimonial for my 10 years of broken service to Widnes. So to have played this many years for Widnes Vikings, it was a dream of mine. Growing up, I wanted to play for the club. This is the club that I supported growing up, and I wanted to become a professional rugby league player and do that for Widnes Vikings, and I've been fortunate enough to do so. So now to be granted a testimonial for my efforts over the previous 10 years, it's I'm really over the moon with it, and delighted that I've got the opportunity to host testimonial.
And obviously, you've grown up, you're a Widnes lad, and 10 years with the club. Is that something you're really proud of?
Yeah, massively. Sometimes circumstances change, and the club's probably not in the position where they want to be right now. We obviously want to be a Super League club, and we're making the right steps to get back there now. We see with the IMG rating, which is good to see. So like I said, growing up, all I wanted to do was become a professional rugby league player and do it for Widnes Vikings, and I've had the opportunity to do that. There's been some downs along the way, and I've had some brilliant times there as well. And one thing I always do is just give me all for the club. That's what I always do, no matter where I've played, but especially for Widnes Vikings, I just always try and give me all week in, week out, and everything I do, I try and make sure I represent the club to the best way that I can.
Yeah, and obviously you approach quite a significant year in a time where there's been a lot of change at the club. How's that been for you? How have you found that in the early weeks pre-season?
Yeah, look, there's been a big overhaul in terms of players and signings. We've got new coaching staff in. We've been through some coaches over the past few years, and to run my testimonial alongside this year, it's exciting for me. It's a good chance as well for supporters to meet the new coaching staff, meet the new players at some of my events. And then obviously when it comes to the pre-season friendlies, you're going to get a chance to see what we're about this year. And anyone who's listened to Allan or watched Swinton over the past few years, they're going to see a very offensive style of rugby. We're going to play a lot with the ball, and I think that plays to our strengths. We are pretty creative with the ball, and I think everyone knows that we can score points. We've got a lot to do defensive side of the ball, but yeah, it's a really exciting time, and just want everyone to get behind the squad. Like I said, the IMG rating, we're in a really good position now to kick on and look over the next few years as we get into Super League, and we need to make that start on the field. We know performances haven't been brilliant over the past few years, and where we're finishing the league isn't ideal, but let's take this as a fresh start again now, and everyone get behind Allan, Woody, all the new coach staff, new players, and let's have a real dig in 2024.
Yeah, and obviously you touched on Allan coming in. How have you found things with him, and what would you say are some of the biggest differences you've seen in the way he sets you up versus previous years? Yeah,
we're only a couple of weeks into pre-season, and everyone knows what pre-season's about. It's get strong, get fit. But I would definitely say we've been hands-on a lot more with the ball. He's constantly drilling skills into us, hand-eye coordination skills, passing skills before sessions, done under fatigue. It's all about skill, and that's because of the way he wants to play. Past week or so, we've been doing a lot of double efforts in defence, and again, because we know the way we're going to play with the ball, sometimes it's going to go wrong, and we're going to have to improve defensively, something that we've not done over the past few years. But yeah, look, Allan and Woody, they've come to Widnes because they think they can be successful there for a start, and it's probably the next step for them. Swinton's a brilliant club, and they won some games last year that on paper you probably wouldn't think you would win, and they beat us there quite easily. One of our worst performances, but they went. I think they beat Toulouse away. So Allan and Woody will get a song out of the players and will make us want to play with each other and for them, and that you can get that feeling already. We're only 2 weeks into pre-season, so I'm really excited what Allan's bringing, and I think it's going to, personally, I think it'll suit the way I want to play. I think it'll suit the way players like Tom Gilmore, Matty Fozzard, Joey Lyons, all us more what are meant to be the attacking players. I think it's going to suit and benefit us, and we're going to have our hands on the ball a lot more this year.
And obviously, you touched on what Allan's brought in. He's obviously been very outspoken about having a philosophy built on hard work. Is that something that you've definitely picked up so far? Yeah,
massively, and I think you see that from the players who he's brought in, who he's worked with. So you see the likes of Rodri Lloyd. I played with Rodri many years ago. He was hard working, then he's still the exact same, and I think that's definitely from what Allan's been instilling in them. At Swinton, Nick Gregson's the same. When you speak to him, there's lads at Swinton who we know, and sports the likes of Kenny Baker, Jets Bedney all said the same. He just wants you to work hard and play as a team, and that's half the battle in rugby league, especially at part time when, you know, lads are working till 5, getting there at 5:30, and then we're on the training. When we're here, we need to enjoy it. You need to want to work hard for each other, because then on Sundays, when you win, it's the best feeling in the world. When you lose, it's awful. So we want to win more games than we lose, obviously. And yeah, hard work's definitely. I think every coach says it. You want a hard-working team, and I think the way Allan plays, that's what he needs. Like, I think skill can only get you so far, and if you don't work hard, I mean, look at the best team over the past 4 or 5 years in St Helens. Everyone might look at them and go, they've got the best players in. They're all playing for England, some of the best players in the world, but they're probably one of the most hard-working teams. And even away from rugby, Liverpool, Man City in football, everything's built on working hard, sticking to the way they want to play, and that's exactly what we've got to do. Even that might be part-time rugby, and you're mentioning some of the best sporting teams in football and rugby. There, it's what sport's built on, and if you haven't got it, well, we're not going to get very far.
And lastly, obviously, there's been a lot of changes off the pitch and on the pitch for the upcoming season. You know, what would you say ultimately are your hopes and the club's hopes?
Look, we've not made playoffs since we've been in relegation. Since we've been relegated from Super League. We can stand there and say we want to finish top 3, we want to win this, we want to win every game at home, we want to, you know, we're going to lose some games we shouldn't lose this year, and we're going to win some games we shouldn't win. And along the way, if we can make this place a bit more of a fortress, we're going to be in a good point to make them playoff spots. And I think, you know, for me personally as a player, I think that's what we've got to be aiming for. I think we've got to be aiming for them playoffs. The club's in a good position, obviously, like I've already mentioned a couple of times in this interview at the IMG. You know, there's been some good things happening over the last few years. That's the reason why we're 16th. We're in a position now to kick on. Like I said, it's a fresh start, new coaching staff, new players, and it really is time we need to sort of draw a line, understand what's happened, and just focus on this year and see what it brings.